This is the quickest and easiest way to upload your indie game to Steam. First of all, you want to download the Steamworks SDK, which can be found on the Steamworks documentation page. The link is partner.steamgames.com/doc/SDK, which you can see at the top, and it will also be in the description below. Under the Steamworks SDK section, you will see a line that says you can download the latest version of the Steamworks SDK here. Click on here. That will bring you to the page SDK releases. Click on the button that says download the latest SDK. When you've downloaded the SDK, go to whichever location you downloaded it to and extract the Steamworks SDK zip. Once you've done that, go into the extracted folder location, go into SDK, then go into Tools, and then extract the zip file SteamPipe GUI. Once you've extracted that, go into the SteamPipe GUI folder and go ahead and click on the SteamPipe GUI.exe. This is the program you'll use to upload your game to Steam, making it as easy as possible. When you open up the GUI, you'll see a few sections that you need to fill out. First of all, enter in your app ID. The app ID is the number that is associated with your game in Steamworks, and you can find this by going into Steamworks and App Admin. It's the number in the brackets next to your indie game name that is pretty much everywhere throughout Steamworks that you look. Next up, give a description to your build. Now this is a description that you want to put. It can be demo, it can be final build, whatever. It can just be the name of your indie game. The next important step is depot configuration. Here you'll want to add a depot and add in the depot ID. Now to get your depot ID, you'll want to go to your app admin page on Steamworks and you'll want to click on Edit Steamworks Settings. When you've done that, you'll see a few tabs across the top. One will be SteamPipe. Hover over SteamPipe and a little drop down will pop up showing builds and depots. Go ahead and click on depots. Once you've clicked on that, you'll be presented with your Manage Depots page. And from there, you can add a new depot. After you've done that, you'll be allocated a depot ID, which will probably be very similar to your app ID. You can go ahead and put that in the depot ID. Then on build path, you want to point to where your build is. And if you build your game using Unity, this will be the folder location that you used when you clicked on build and release. Basically, whatever folder contains your outputted game files. Next up, you want to go down to the Steam configuration section, and under here, you'll have to add in the Steam SDK content builder path. For this, we'll click on Browse, and then we'll navigate to the extracted Steamworks SDK from earlier. We'll go into SDK, Tools and Content Builder. You can enter the path manually, or you can just go ahead and click Browse and do that. Finally, you'll enter your Steam login username and your Steam password. When that's done, you can go ahead and click Upload. The Steam GUI will now automatically connect to Steamworks and start uploading your build. Now, one thing to notice is that in the command prompt that pops up, you might get a request for a Steam Guard code, especially if you've not done anything on Steamworks recently on the PC or laptop that you're using. If this pops up, just make sure to check the email associated with your account and enter the code that's presented. Once that's done, you can carry on with no problems. And when you've done this once, you probably won't have to do it again for a while. Once the uploading is complete, your build is now uploaded into Steam. However, there are a couple of steps to do first before you can go ahead and test your game on Steam. First of all, back on Steamworks and back in the Steamworks settings, if we go over SteamPipe again and select builds this time, here you should see any builds that you've uploaded. This will be obvious from the timestamp and the description that you used in the GUI. If you don't already have an available app branch, make sure to create a new app branch. And then when you've done that, make sure to head to the latest build that you've just uploaded and make sure to select it live on the default branch. You can go ahead and click Preview Change, which will then enable you to set the live build. Once you've done that under the current column, you should see the branch allocated to the latest build. But before our game is fully ready to go, there is one final step you need to make sure you've done. Again, on the Steamworks settings page, if you hover over installation and go into general installation, here you will see a section that says launch options. If you have no launch options here, make sure to add a new launch option. This is essential to make sure that your game will run when it is clicked on in Steam. Set your launch options for whichever operating system or operating systems that you're using, for example, Windows or Mac OS. Once you've done that, you are good to go. You can head on over to your Steam launcher using your developer account, and there it is, your indie game ready to play.